Hello everyone, how's it going? My name is Dan the Tutor, on a mission to become the world's greatest tutor. In today's video, we're going to be talking about some advanced factoring problems. Let me show you what I mean. So normal factoring would be something like this. X squared minus x minus 6, and I ask you to factor this. The way we factor normal equations like this, some of you learned this x method, where you'd put the -6 up here and the -1 down here. But personally, I don't do it that way. I do something very similar. I list out all the factors of 6, which are 1 and 6 and 3 and 2, and then I need them to add up to a -1 because that's what's in the middle, which means that x minus 3 and x plus 2 is the correct factorization for that easy problem. But now, with advanced factoring, I'm talking about problems like 4x squared plus 3x minus 2, where now there's something in this a term, we call it, because a is always the number in front of x squared, b is always the number in front of x, and c is always the constant at the end. This is going to be known as the AC method. Actually, there are 4 different ways you can factor this, but in this video, I'm going to be telling you what I think is the best way. And so let me show you actually with another problem, 4x squared plus 7x plus 3. Again, this is called the AC method of factoring. And the reason why it's called that is because you're going to multiply a, which is 4, and c, which is 3, together to give you 12. Then you write out all the factor pairs of 12. Of course, we have 1 and 12, 2 and 6, and 3 and 4. And your goal is to add up to the middle number, which in this case is 7. So obviously that's going to be 3 and 4. However, if you write that the final answer is x plus 3 and x plus 4, this of course is going to be wrong for 2 reasons. Number 1, if you actually FOIL this out, you'll get x squared plus 7x plus 12. And we can see only the 7x matches the original problem. The a term and the c term are both wrong. And that's because there's one more step we have to do, and that is divide by a, in this case 4. And what do I mean by that? I'm saying you divide this 3 by 4, and you divide this 4 by 4, always the a term. So we see x plus 4 over 4 is going to be just x plus 1. That's done. And then for the 3/4, we don't want a fraction here. So what you want to do is you actually just want to move that 4 right in front of the x. There is a mathematical reason why we're doing this, but since this is just a shortcut, I'm telling you, just move the 4 or the a term out in front there. And there we go. A very easy way to factor. Just to review super quickly, you multiply a and c, you find out all the factor pairs of a and c, you choose the one that adds up to b, and then you factor and divide by a, and one of them you'll always have to move in front because there's always going to be a fraction. Okay, so let's do this now with some practice problems. Feel free to try these on your own. If not, I'll be doing them right now. So first I'm going to say a times c is 2 times 4, which is going to be 8. I know that's -4, and so technically that does matter. It will be -8, obviously, but I just want to write out all the factor pairs of +8 for right now, which are going to be 1 and 8 and 2 and 4, and that's it. Now, since this is subtraction, now here's where the negative comes in. I need to add up to -7, which means 1 and -8 is going to be my best answer here. So in other words, x plus 1 and x minus 8, just like that. And then finally we divide by a, which again was 2. So divide by 2 there, divide by 2 there. Since 1/2 is a fraction, move the 2 out in front to make it 2x plus 1. And then x minus 8 over 2 is 4. And there's our answer. So hopefully it's starting to make sense. If not, I've got 2 more problems to look at today. Okay, here's the second one. You can try this one on your own, but I want to tell you, as you go through it, you'll realize that this one has something weird going on that I probably have to explain. So first things first, we're going to do a times c, which again is 10 times -1, giving me 10 or -10. Honestly, it doesn't matter. And then factors of 10 are 1 and 10 and 2 and 5. And since I want +3 in the middle, and this is subtraction, it means they have to subtract 2 +3. That, of course, will be positive 5, and negative 2. So I have x minus 2 and x plus 5. And then once again, we're going to divide both of these by a, which is 10. Now the weird thing about this problem is that now we have two fractions. So what are we going to do? I'll tell you. First, you want to simplify this as much as possible, meaning 2 over 10 is really 1/5, and 5 over 10 is really 1/2. And now that it's as simplified as much as possible, now I'm going to move both the 5 and the 2 out in front, giving me 5x minus 1 and 2x plus 1. And this is going to be the correct answer. And by the way, if we were ever unsure, we could always FOIL this, like we know how to FOIL, and you should get the original problem, 10x squared plus 3x minus 1. And if you FOIL correctly, you will get this, confirming this is the right answer. And so now I've got one more for us today, negative 4x squared minus 5x plus 6. Why don't you try this one on your own? If you get stuck, that's okay. You're going to see the solution in about 2 seconds. So go ahead, give it a try. Okay, and here's what we're going to do. First, a times c, negative 4 times positive 6 is negative 24. And then there's a lot of factor pairs of 24. We got 1 and 24, 2 and 12, 3 and 8, and 4 and 6. Remember, even though this is positive 6, since we have a negative, we do want to subtract to negative 5. So in other words, 1 minus 24 won't work because that's negative 23. 2 minus 12 won't work because that's negative 10. 3 minus 8 will work because that's negative 5. And I don't even need to check 4 and 6. So in other words, 3 and negative 8 will be my factor pairs. So in other words, x plus 3 and x minus 8. And just like before, I'm going to divide by a. Yes, we are dividing by negative 4. So it's going to be divide by negative 4. Divide by negative 4. Again, we're going to simplify this as much as possible. 3/4 cannot simplify, but negative 8 over negative 4 is positive 2. And since this is stuck as a fraction, we just move the negative 4 in front of the x. So negative 4x plus 3, and this should be our final answer. And again, if we're unsure, we can FOIL this. Negative 4x squared minus 8x plus 3x plus 6. Reduce the middle terms, and we'll get this, which was the original problem. So see, we do the exact same thing for this. Once we understand this shortcut, it's actually not that bad at all. So all you need to do is keep practicing, whether that's with this video or any other videos or homework you have, just keep practicing. Well, that's going to do it for this video. Thank you all for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, and bye-bye.